Good morning. It's what you would call a crappy day. We got, what, 2 inches of rain coming. We have a bunch of wind. We're under a wind warning, so we can't do too much of an adventure today, but we could take you all to the Siemens Bethel. I called it a brothel, and Sue quickly corrected me. It is not a brothel, it's a Bethel, and it is a chapel. And anytime we lose a fisherman to the sea, their name goes up here in the wall. If they came out of New Bedford, the name goes up in here on the wall, and they generally have the funeral here. So it's open to the public, and this particular building was represented in the movie Moby Dick. It's been in a couple of different movies from the outside of it, looking from the street. So it's rather Hollywood famous too, as well as historic.
And according to the man at the Whaling Museum, it didn't have a preacher's pulpit, and they added that for the movie Moby Dick. So that is not original to the Bethel many years ago, but it was added for the Moby Dick movie. So that's kind of interesting too, to think that was they just added it for the movie, so he could go up there and speak. So interesting little fact.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. So anyways, we're going to take you along. Hang on to your hats.
Sweet Pea sleeping in the back seat because it's raining hard and she likes to sleep.
We're going to go in and, yeah, Sweet Pea, and we're going to go in and check this place out. We're going to take you back and show you Sweet Pea quick. Show you how she sleeps. And she'll stay like that until we get back. And she'll be eagerly looking for her snack.
That's for sure.
See you all later. Oh, that?
You want to come after like 2 o'clock and you'll come 2 before that. So.
Oh, they're doing a wedding?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Well, that was kind of a bust. We got there and they were having a wedding. So we got back in the car and we are now headed down Route 6 over towards a town called Mattapoisett, where they have, from what I understand, a fine little museum about the town, about its origin, about how it got colonized and so forth. So we won't disappoint you. We'll find something for you to do. And right now we're sitting still on Route 6 because they have a bridge that opens and lets all the fishing boats in and out of the harbor. So we are waiting for a boat either coming in or out. It'll soon be open. We'll be headed to the museum.
We would show you the bridge, but we're, way back in the traffic, so we can't really show you the bridge today. We're too far back.
Yeah, if it
lots of
wasn't
traffic today.
If it wasn't raining, I'd send Sue with the GoPro, pick her up on the way by, but it's pouring out, so we can't do that to her, right? We don't want to see the bridge that bad. Or do we? Anyways, we'll see you in a little while.
So we made it to the Mattapoisett Museum. Writing Studebaker. Look at all these cool old tools. Kinds of old. A mowing machine sharpener. I would like that. Much different than what he uses today. All kinds of stuff. Old-fashioned forge. Ron's probably never mentioned, but his grandfather first of all was a blacksmith, and then his grandmother took over when his grandfather died. So she had a forge in her back shed, and she used to make floor lamps for years. He made different kind of things. He made like some different type of copper lamps, but she pretty much stuck with the floor lamps as she got older. All the tools. It's really fancy, amazing the stuff they made. The old-fashioned anvil.
here's a contraption that is sharpening lawnmower blades with
Isn't that pretty cool
back
from
in the
what
old
you use?
days. It's
Little
kind of what I do for a living, and what I sharpen lawnmower blades with looks nothing like that, folks. Looks like that's going to be done by hand crank. Something tells me at 65 I don't think I'd be able to do that all day long. This place is pretty cool. We're in like a barn.
An old barn.
It's actually an old barn. It's attached to a house up front, so I'm not sure about the history of it, but we'll tell you a little more about it later. But it is basically about the town of Mattapoisett, Massachusetts. It's on the coast. It's at the mouth of the Cape. Just on this side of the Cape Cod Canal. Yeah, there's an old plow there. Look.
Old plow. The old-fashioned. There you go. Long grass.
Yep.
That's a really old one without wheels. Rubber wheels.
Stuff we mow grass for today costs $60,000 and runs on some sort of fuel.
That'd be that like some sort of must be right. This old guy.
Yeah, that's
Like there,
there's
door
a perfect
slats
example
of what they used to make.
of stuff that blacksmiths used to make. That's
It's like that goes in the door to hold the.
door strap. Yeah.
How's the sidewalk plow? Horse-drawn sidewalk plow.
This is a horse-drawn sidewalk plow.
That's pretty cool.
It was purchased in about 1900. It was used on the sidewalks until 1940s.
That must have been a cool job.
Oh my God.
Where's the actual plow part? Oh, this right here.
Yep, I know.
Look at that.
Look at that.
That's all I have for them. It's right here. Wow. Big contraption for a little bit
Jeez.
of snow, huh? Police and Highway Department. It's actually horse-drawn, which got the hands its way up top on top of the barrel.
Now let's check it out on this side. It's a Studebaker.
Yeah, try. The size of those wheels are probably almost as tall as I am.
What it did was it ran the streets and spread water on the streets,
Oh, to keep
so that
down
when
the
the
dust.
when the horse and buggies and so forth went up and down the streets, you weren't inundated with dust. They kind of do the same things today at some of the dirt parking lots and some of the dirt stock car speedways, except they use a truck.
It was purchased for $97.63.
$97.63. It's amazing. Along with a steamroller for $600.
All began the pavement, and they began paving the streets from there. Yeah. That's really cool.
It's a old-fashioned cranberry separator, huh? How's that for pretty cool?
Imagine that's almost got the label still on it.
It's amazing.
There's just little bits on the bottom that catches the snow.
Here's a logging trailer. It's also horse-drawn.
No, it's ice cutting equipment. That right there, it's two different things. This says it's this in the septic here, I think, sorry.
This whole trailer here is, they would cut the logs, they would put the logs on and then haul it all the way up there. Yeah, there is some ice cutting
There's ice
equipment.
cutting things right here. in
They had
the-
the giant saws back in the day before refrigeration. Everybody had blocks of ice, so if you had an ice company, you were probably a rich man. Because everybody needed ice, just like everybody needs Microsoft.
You get a picture of this? Turnip mincer? Oh wow, oh the cattle feed. I didn't know cattle ate turnip.
Very weird.
See what you get. A corn sheller. Behind you here.
The whole wall full of,
Garden tools.
it's like garden tools, farm tools.
Yolks for the
Yep,
cattle.
yolks for the cattle. And a corn sheller,
Isn't that pretty cool?
automatic corn sheller. Stick the corn down in there. Spin the handle. The corn comes out the bottom.
What's the bird name on that?
Kind of unique.
Oh, it says corn sheller right on it. Wow, look inside this one. It's yoke. It's pretty heavy. It's not just a box. How heavy? Oh, it's a late model one. That's not even. Oh yeah, the old-fashioned one was just
Not
a
for
wood.
ox, that's not heavy.
Jeez.
For you and I, it's heavy.
Oh, it's wicked heavy.
The Wanderer, a first-class whaling vessel, was launched from the J.H. Holmes and Sons shipyard in Mattapoisett that once existed on Water Street in 1878. One of the most beautiful whale ships to ever set port in the whaling city, New Bedford, Mass. Here is her preserved mast. She is represented well here in this small gem of a museum.
Here's some old firefighting equipment. Look at that. Here's the buckets that they used.
Oh, those are actually water buckets?
Here's the
Oh, wow.
buckets that they used. You know how you see in the movies where they all got into a Congo line like, and I don't know if Congo line, I guess.
Oh, that's a weird.
I guess Congo line isn't quite the right thing, but you know what I'm talking about. Here's some of the buckets that they
line.
would use. It's amazing. And how they would pump it. This is actually a pumper, but you know the buckets are also used to douse the fire. But it's a pumper. Guy be on one end of it, another guy be on the other end of it. Would pump water out of this hose right here.
Crazy. Here's the end of the hose right here.
That's a spelling. It looks to me like they would fill these buckets and hand them, and then the men would run with these buckets. This is 1821, so if your house got on fire in 1821, I don't know if there'd be much left.
Now check this out. This is going to be right up your alley. It's to grease the wagon wheels.
Yep.
Compared to your little greasing machine that you got going.
Yep, and in this is not petroleum grease. I'm pretty sure I'm correct in saying that it would be a certain
Animal?
part of the whale oil that they render, and the thick part of the whale oil is what they used to grease wheels, and that's what they would use in some of the industrial factories to grease the machinery and such. So it's kind of cool, it kind of ties together. There's some more tree cutting equipment, look.
Crazy, right? Look at this for a shop.
Okay, when I was a kid, we had one of these. My father had a garage outside, and that my grandfather used to work in. This is how they used to shop, and
And it's
axes and different various tools. It's smooth.
I would always love
It's actually, I think it's sandstone, but I'm not sure. And the one that my father had was also manually operated, but you would do it with your feet. Your feet would kind of go like this on these two pedals, and the thing would turn. With this, it looks like you're going to have somebody spin it while another guy works it, I guess.
Oh, that was turned by a young boy. Probably hated his job, it says. It's a nice old bell.
It's cool.
But somebody had to turn that to get it to ring too.
Yes. Looks like they have some stuff upstairs here.
Maybe a lion over here.
They heat the irons in the fireplace and then take it over to what they were ironing while the heat lasted. No electricity needed.
Well, Anchorage by the Sea was obviously a tea room.
Yeah, right, it must have been, right?
And these are the plates they used to serve pasta rolls on.
Right.
There's a Wanderer was a whaling bark. 1878. Is that shipmaster?
Yep. I got that. This old barn, as we're heading upstairs, you can really hear the rain hitting the roof. It's pouring outside. I'm going to lift the GoPro up for a second, and well, hopefully you'll all be able to hear it. It's pouring.
Oh, kitchen gadgets. Oh, that's really nice. Look at that. Oh, that's awesome. The material, it's got a little of everything. Boots on the wall. That's really cool. Oh, look at the camera.
Here's a GoPro taking
Yeah.
a picture of an ancestor for sure. Something tells me this does not have the ability to go underwater or be attached to a bicycle handle.
Look at these all. That must have been a pretty looking take of them when it was done.
Right?
Let's see what the molds. Look at that. Three. That must have been. They do three-handled iron thing.
Hold on to that side of the ocean. I'm trying to stay out on my own too. Okay.
Very cool.
And this, if you get in that, it goes where they're looking at is gone. I used to collect those when I was younger, but we lived in an apartment, and when we moved to our house and stuff, I don't know, it didn't really keep the interest on it. But they're kind of cool, old-fashioned kerosene lamps I always found cool.
The old dishes. There's a carpet sweeper for you. It's probably one of the original is it? Carpet sweepers. Gets a good whistle.
Oh yeah.
Carpet sweeper. That's cool. That's really neat.
I don't know if you can see that, but it does say Bissell on it, and it's actually a carpet sweeper from way back in the day.
Really cool.
It's an old Franklin stove too. look at that.
1862. That's a fancy one too,
1862.
because it's got
very
the,
fancy.
you put the water on top to help, for
Oh yeah.
humidity.
You had some bucks if you used that stove back in the day.
My mom had one like that, old clam boil pan. That's what we used for clam boil anyways.
Is that like a 1821 hot tub?
Yeah. See the bubbles? Let's look this way and then we'll go that way. Anyway, go back around.
Yeah, well,
I can go around the circle. Yeah. Oh, this is really cool.
we have to stay behind now
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
the shoemaker's tool and die department, I guess you could call it, right? All kinds of different
With
tools,
shapes and
shape
stuff.
leather and cut leather and form leather. Of course, back in the days, you know, you didn't go and buy sneakers from China. If you needed something to get your feet, you went to a shoemaker. Every town had one, or every city had one at least. It's amazing. I bet you they didn't even cost $150 either.
Look at baskets.
Old-fashioned
Look at the
baskets.
trunk. That's really cool. What is that? Oh, the shaving? What did it say? A shaving horse?
I guess you could shave wood with it.
Oh, in order to make things,
I
right?
have to look that up, folks. But I think he was shaving, you know, bitching like almost like a plane.
Right,
think.
exactly. Look at that old purse.
Looks like it might be a doctor's medical bag.
Very cool.
You know, the kind
Probably
of
more like a traveling
kind
bag.
of doc on Gunsmoke would have.
There you go.
I don't know.
Oh, that's a doctor's one way.
Maybe he treated Festus out of that bag. Who knows? There's a little kid's push sleigh. Isn't that cool? Again, that was a family with some money right there back in the day.
Oh, isn't this nice? Very cool. Wampanoag Indian tribe.
Very cool.
The summer home of the people of the Wampanoag Indians.
Wow.
That's very cool. An art group, art students made that.
What, from some school?
Made this whole diorama, yeah. From the Rochester Regional High School.
Rochester Regional High School kids made that? Wow.
Yep, isn't that cool?
Very
Very
cool.
nice. Oh. Cradle. The old carriages, I'm like. Jeez. 150 years old. That's an old one.
The baby chairs up here, son? There it is.
Yeah, look at that gorgeous one. That nice. Old-fashioned duck rocking horse. Not a rocking horse, but a duck horse.
Jeez, why do I want to ride that?
Look at the old baby rocking.
Yeah, rock it. Look at that.
These old baby carriages are just amazing.
Here's a museum in a museum.
Of early American
All
tools.
sorts of early American tools. Right up my alley. This over here looks like carpenter's tools with planes and
This is a boring.
wood planes and nails and a boring,
A boring machine. In
An
other
old-
words, a drill.
an old drill or boring machine. You could bore a hole through wood. All sorts of stuff. Some of it I don't really recognize. Hammers and chisels and screwdrivers and all kinds of saws, augers. And not one plugged into the wall. It was all done with arm power. I bet you the folks didn't have any trouble sleeping back then after using all these tools all day. I bet you they shut their eyes and to sleep they went.
The carpenter's tool chest. Oliver Wendell Holmes used to sit on after getting his morning paper.
GoPro just got into its own shadow. All kinds of auger tools. Now if you wanted to, drill a hole in wood, That's what she used.
I know how that was.
And that handle is what you had to turn. Oh my God. And I was complaining about using the hammer trying to get a bell housing off of the back of a Cumming diesel a couple of days ago with a tool that was doing most of the work. That right there, you drill one hole to a piece of wood, did a lot more work than I did all day trying to get that off that Cummings diesel. The old loom machine, wow, really nice. I like loom machines.
1768.
Yeah, huh? Took a lot of skill to run one of those. It wasn't run by a robot in a factory, that's for sure.
Look how soft that is.
Wow,
Oh, isn't that nice? I think they made beautiful things like that.
I know. There's an old fireplace with all its fixings, its tools, buckets.
Cooking.
That's how they did stews and
Cooking
soups.
utensils, right?
And
Candle maker, candle.
when they wanted to like roast a chicken, it would hang off this over the top of a fire. And I mean, it's just amazing, you know, the way they worked, the way they lived back then. And
Candle.
back then, you know, we didn't have furnaces that ran all night and so forth and so on. If you wanted heat all night, you had to get up and you had to put it into a fireplace over and over and over. And if you didn't, it got cold. So they used to put these bed warmers. I don't
I
know.
wouldn't mind one of those today.
It reminds me of the episode where they turned Samantha into a bed warmer. Remember?
Yeah. Want to make some candles?
Right? Sue and I used to make candles, but not like that. We used to make jar candles. That's independent little
Tapers.
taper candles. Here's a really, really cool old-fashioned kitchen. Really
A
cool.
little more modern than that one. Actually has
This is like
running
probably, I
water.
would say 1930s maybe, somewhere in there. But I don't know, I would say, but very early. They didn't have electricity because you still had the water pump for the sink,
But they had water running, right?
you know? But look at it. Very functional, very mechanical, and very,
A lot of work.
you know, very neat. I mean, you had everything you needed. Didn't have to plug nothing into the wall, like I say. And then we wonder why we're at where we're at, I guess. Everything we do has a plug. You can't even brush your teeth now without having the plug plugged in.
You actually have one of these still. Not quite as old as that one, but
Old-fashioned meat grinder.
Mom used that all the time to grind things.
That's how you made hamburger back on the
Yeah.
old farmstead, right?
We haven't used ours in years, but we have one.
And my grandmother had a stove. Not exactly like this, but the same theory. And every morning she'd put coal in it, or wood. She'd keep the water hot. She would do some cooking in it. And I'm talking right up until, I don't know, mid-1970s, 1980. She did have a stove that worked by way of being plugged in right over to the right, but she liked using that. She used it a lot. Hers was green, and this stuff here, I believe, was kind of like more like almost like shiny chrome. And hers was like green. Where this is black, hers was green. But it's really cool. I remember the smells that used to come out of it and stuff. There's the oven. Put a thermometer on it. Okay,
Rotary's washing machine.
back how they used to do laundry. How would a mother of 6 like to have this to look at? Jeez, I wouldn't even want to look at it for our own clothes, never mind.
That was a big deal when they got that. Look how
It was
happy
a
they
big
were.
deal. Oh yeah.
She was happy to have
Happy as a pig, and you know what? What?
that. Especially with her husband doing the turning.
That says my week: Monday wash, Tuesday iron, Wednesday sew, Thursday market, Friday clean, Saturday bake, Sunday day of rest.
He did work hard in those days. Better than this is the old-fashioned way. And you wonder why she was smiling. Go from scrubbing on that thing all day to, yeah, I'd be smiling
Yeah,
too.
right. They went from washboards
Right.
to this
Exactly.
to rolling it
Right.
to just turning a handle.
And you wonder why she's smiling, especially with her husband doing the
That
turning.
was the step in between. Just plug it in.
Just thought it was wonderful.
A rocking churn. They made butter that way. The butter would go back and forth. It would just rock.
Never seen one of those before.
I only know that because I saw one time on the Waltons. And of course it says churn, but I did see one in operation once on the Waltons. The same thing. I thought it was pretty cool. And they were talking about how cool it was because the Waltons used one that went like this. You had to do this to it. And they thought this was pretty cool.
Yeah, I bet. Wow, the irons weighed 15 pounds. Wow. One baby in one arm and ironing with the other. Wow.
An old-fashioned bicycle. Look at that. Whoever thought of that setup? So,
Imagine.
I mean, if you lost your balance,
Phew.
and that's a little one, but some of the bigger ones, if you lost your balance, it looks like you fell 8 feet to the ground. I wonder how many people went to the hospital, do you suppose, because of their bicycles?
This is all wood. Oh, that's metal. That's metal, but this tire's all wood.
Yeah, they all were. Well, steel rim. Yep.
That's crazy.
I'd like to sit on that seat.
Nope. I've seen how much my padded seat used to hurt.
Gentlemen, have a seat.
Data could not much to do.
No, there's a whole house to do.
I don't think there's a bunch back that way. Looks like we're going into a church, basically.
The whole house upstairs.
Oh, is it upstairs? Oh,
I think. Oh, big
I
enough.
haven't seen upstairs.
Old-fashioned eagle
That's
weather
beautiful.
vane. Look at that carved. It's wooden carved.
Beautiful.
Carved by a guy called Henry Purington. He carved figureheads for many of the whaling boats built in
Oh,
Mattapoisett.
the Wanderer, which is
Including the
boat.
Wanderer, right? Which was that mast.
Big
Which
boat,
is,
yeah.
look at that. Oh,
That's gorgeous. That almost looks like it's metal
it's amazing.
with the coloring on it. Oh, here's the Wanderer right here.
Yeah.
Oh, last ship built during the Mattapoisett 19th century. Wow. Oh, that's the West Coast too.
Well, yeah. When they, as the whales, remember we learned that as the whales become less and less, they had to travel further and further. It went from they were out for a week, and then 2 weeks, and then 2 months, and then 2 years, and then some of them were off for 7 years in the end. They had to travel to Timbuktu to get them because we fished them dry. We didn't know anything about anything at all about conservation or species. We just fished them, and everything that we use for lighting, lubrication, and all of that. We needed it.
So one whale equals 17 elephants. Isn't that pretty cool if you look at it that way? Wow. 3 dinosaurs. 3 dinosaurs, 17 elephants, or 133 ox.
That is amazing.
That's crazy.
It's a beautiful little church here.
It is, yeah, 1821.
Beautiful.
Do you guys have any questions?
No, it's just
Not really, except it's just like an awesome little place.
Yeah,
I
it
think.
It is.
Very awesome.
You're standing in the right spot. You got the heat coming out.
I know, right?
It's chilly out in
Yeah,
that part.
Do you volunteer here?
I do. Yeah.
Very nice.
I'm a volunteer, board member. I do social media for the museum. I do their website. I love it.
I bet. I mean, it's
I
just
bet it's
an
fun.
awesome place to be.
Yeah.
And you meet a lot of people, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. I mean, I think that I don't think the general public really knows everything that we have because our space is so small. But we're a little gem in the south coast
sure.
of Massachusetts, and you know we're entirely run by volunteers. We have one staff member, and he works 20 hours a week. So
Wow.
this organization is mostly volunteer run.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah, and our collection is, I mean, we have things from Marion, Rochester. I mean, Marion, Rochester, and Mattapoisett were one big town when it was first settled.
Oh,
Okay.
So the 3 towns are interconnected.
Your belly. She got a scratch on her belly. Mama just did it.
CP's all excited. We just got back from the museum and CP wants snacks.
So much so that she just fell. Crazy person. You're crazy. I know. Just give you snacks. No kisses. Here's 1. Here's 2. And there's 3. There she goes. 3 for you.
That was a really,
Oh, that was
really awesome little museum, folks. I'm glad you. I hope you liked it. And
I think it's really
geez,
awesome.
I thought it was cool. I had all kinds of stuff in there. Stuff that I certainly didn't expect to see. I don't know about you, Sue. Geez.
No, some things I never saw before.
And a very friendly lady.
Yeah, Jessica was really informative, and plus now they do different things. They do, let me see, I gotta read the list here. So they have Old Time Fiddle, which sounds really cool to us, on the 4th Sunday. And they have a silent movie night, which they play modern music to the silent movies on the 1st Friday. They have open mic night on the 3rd Friday. But it's a really cool building because of the sound in there. Sounds like they say that it has like the best acoustic. I can't say
They're
it.
the best
Acoustic.
They have built-in acoustics from the old days, and I'm telling you, it's like you could like hear your voice just fill in the room. So I'm sure when they get the banjo and the fiddle going in there, it must sound pretty cool. Be right up my alley.
We're gonna check it out some point. And it's 6 to 8, so it's not beyond our
Right,
bedtime.
we'll get to go to bed at least a reasonable time. See ya.